Cloud. Okay, here we are. Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning training for February 22nd. In the first half of the call, it's going to be a scheduled and planned training that I think you're all going to be delighted with. And the second half would be for Q&A. So if you have to leave at the bottom of the hour, that's totally fine. But we're going to stick around and along with other leaders that are on with us and just do some general business Q&A. Today we have a special subject we're going to be talking. Something should be close to everyone's heart, and that's the concept of time management, and also the concept of first things first. And how many people, show of hands, have read the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Cornerstone book. I tell you, it was a life changer for me. That and Think and Grow Rich in the Bible. I used to do, when I do seminars, I ask, what are your favorite 3 books? And for the longest time, those were the 3 books that came up: the Bible, Think and Grow Rich, and 7 Habits. Well, today we've got a special guest who not only was a certified trainer with Stephen Covey, but helped him launch that book, The 7 Habits, worked directly with him. Luckily for me, he failed at trying to marry her off to a good Mormon boy, and she got me instead. And that's my beloved wife, Robin. And she's going to talk to us about this important topic of, again, first things first. One is the 3rd habit, I believe, the 3rd of the 7 habits, and the concept of time management. And she's going to talk how it's kind of an oxymoron to manage time because we all get the same amount. It's what you do with it that counts. So we had a wonderful call yesterday with our director's call, and by unanimous agreement, she did this. She practiced on the directors so she could be more precise and concise with all of you today on this very important subject. So I'm going to zip my lip and turn the call over to Robin. So hold on just a minute.
Bring up the screen?
Yeah,
Not yet.
I can whenever you like.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me just, one more little thing. There we go.
Well, good morning, everybody. And hi. I love those waves. How fun. Yes. Hi, everyone. So, we've used John Maxwell's book, and then we did Atomic Habits. And it planted a seed in me as I've been working on my habit tracker of what are the most important things for me to be doing to really create the identity that I want. And for those of you that are engaged in the journey, you'll understand what I mean. And the term leverage came up. So as I was putting my habit tracker together, I had a very long list on there. And I got, no, from my coach, 3 things I get to put on there. 3 things. So what are the 3 things that'll make the biggest difference? So this word called leverage kept coming up to me. And my favorite tool, having been a student of personal development for, I don't know, 4 decades, something like that, is the power of questions. So I constantly live in the question. And when I taught Enlightened Leadership, we had the premise that everyone in the room knew the answer to all their own questions. When we plant a question, it stirs up our wisdom and our inner knowing. So when I look at the question of leverage, what does that really mean? And why is it that we all have the same amount of time and some people get way more done and other people have way more money than we do? What is the difference? And the difference is leverage. And how do we get that in our lives? What does that really mean? And we are privileged in our business model to have a business model that allows the average person to leverage time through other people, to leverage resources through tools and systems and all these wonderful things to achieve dramatic results that can literally change your life. So backing all that down into the 7 habits, for those of you that.
And Liz, and could you keep an eye on and mute the anybody that's unmuted that's kind of interfering with some noise, please?
Okay,
Thank you.
great. Thank you. So for those of you that don't know the 7 habits, the first 3 habits are personal, and then the next 3 habits are interpersonal, and then around them is the habit that affects them all. That's habit 7. So the first habit is I am the programmer, and what is important in your life? And what?
Which finger there?
Put my finger here. Okay. He's using my computer. And then the next habit is you write the program. What's important in your life? What are your goals? The first one is be proactive. I am in charge of my life. The second one is to really take a look at what's important. And this is something, maybe another time I'll do this exercise because to me, it's one of the most important ones for happiness and fulfillment. If you identify the most important values in your life, whether it be in your personal life, where you live, in your work. And if those top 5 are not satisfied, you will never be happy. And I'm not going to get into detail about that because I can get into a lot of detail. But when I'm coaching, people, it's like, what's important? And then the third one is how do you execute that? And that's what's called time management. Now, does anyone have a challenge with time management? It's amazing. And so, like Gregory said earlier, we really can't manage time because everyone has the same amount. It's really, excuse me, let me clear my throat 1 second. It's really about our relationship with time. And so I looked at all kinds of other time management programs, the ABC 1, 2, 3. I bet a bunch of you have too. And I came across Covey's program. It's this big light bulb went on. And when I embraced it, I had more balance in my life because I took the time to weekly plan, and it was all based on the important roles in my life and on what those values were that supported that. So today what I wanted to do is just give a really quick overview of habit 3, which is the habit of our relationship with time. And so I think we'll bring it up now, honey.
Okay.
We're going to bring up a chart. And for those of you that have not engaged in this before, it's Stephen calls it quadrant 2 time management. And he used to say, if you want to learn something, teach it. If your kids are having trouble in school, have them teach you the topic that they're having a challenge with. It'll be great for their self-esteem that they're teaching you, but it also helps them learn even better. So when it came around to what did I want to learn, I wanted to learn time management. So I created a course based on habit 3. And then a whole book came out called First Things First after that, which really is a fabulous book. If you really want to dig deeper into this, it's by Stephen Covey and Rebecca Merrill, and we're getting there. Gregory's bringing up the chart. Okay, here we go. So I wanted to start out with these 4 quadrants, and really it's divided into, urgent and not urgent, important and not important. And so when you look at your time, and again, this is your relationship with time. So when we look at urgent in quadrant 1, those are things that are absolutely important that you don't have an option to not deal with them immediately. So if a crisis happens, let's say you get a flat tire, one of our leaders, got an urgent call that her daughter was in the hospital. And so she got on a plane from Florida to Portland to be with her daughter. That's urgent, a pressing problem. You have got to deal with it in the moment. Okay. Now, urgent and not urgent and important is where the quality time is. And this is a quadrant that you have to work on because it's not in your face. It's not urgent. You have to take the action upon it. And those are things that really support our body. We take care of our bodies. We take care of our profession, our relationships. We take care of planning our life. And this doesn't happen at you. You have to be the initiator to spend the time in this quadrant. And we're going to talk about that a little further. Now, urgent and not important, those are things that are urgent for other people, but not for you. So if someone comes to interrupt you, sometimes when the phone calls, when the mail comes in, certain things that are not your important things, but they're important to other people. And they could be popular things, but a lot of meetings can be urgent but not important. And then finally, quadrant 4, these are total time wasters. This is where, you sit down and you're going to watch a really wonderful program on TV or a movie, and it's over and you still stay stuck there. I call it the magnet on your backside. And then hours and hours go by and you've wasted the time. For some people, and I've caught myself recently getting caught in some of those reels, they're really entertaining, but they're time wasting. And they're not contributing in any way, shape, or form. They could be pleasant things, but they're not contributing. And so some examples in our business, and I'm going to focus on quadrant 2 because that is where you're going to get the greatest amount of leverage in your life. If you take the time in quadrant 2, you're going to alleviate some of the quadrant 1. Some of it can't be avoided. Your child has an accident, something happens, you got to do it. But if you have a flat tire because you were not maintaining your car properly, or you didn't put oil in it, and all of a sudden you got trouble, that is something that could have been prevented by proper maintenance. And the same thing is true with relationships. If we don't take the quality time to be with the relationships that are important, and you've heard me talk about listening, and it's one of the most important things to give quality time to your prospects, to your customers, to your brand partners. We use that term, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Taking the time to be present with them makes a huge difference, that when stuff comes up, they know who you are, they know how much you care, and you can work it through whatever comes up. But if you don't, and sometimes relationships at a distance, it's easy to put them on the top shelf and not dust them off. But underneath, they're niggling away at you. And then, something happens and then it goes into quadrant 1 and it's not pretty. So what I shared yesterday, and those of you that were on the call yesterday don't get to answer this, we're talking about leverage here. And in our business, when you look at investing in each one of these quadrants, and let's say you put $10 in each one of them. And if you put $10 in quadrant 1, what do you think you're going to get back? Because it's urgent and important. What do you think you're going to get back? Anyone shout it out. Unmute and shout. Just take a guess. Everyone's quiet.
The $10 will be taken away.
Okay. Well, that one actually is urgent and important. So you don't lose anything on that one, but you don't gain anything on that one. Okay. Thank you for sharing, though. In quadrant 3, it's urgent and not important. If you put $10 in, anyone want to guess? You get less back. Anyone want to guess?
It will be taken away.
You get a little bit left, but a lot is taken away. So let's say you get 5. Now, urgent, not urgent, and not important. This is a total waste. So guess what? You're going to quadrant 4, time wasters, you lose it all. And when you, and my invitation to everyone as we're going through this is to really observe yourself. One of the exercises that we used to do was we tracked our time every 15 minutes for a period of time. And we looked at what quadrant we were living in. And it was quite an eye opener for everybody. When you do that, when you watch yourself, there's so many pleasant things to spend time on. And, especially with the internet, you get caught down this rabbit hole and that rabbit hole. And it's like, what did I start looking for? And you completely lost all this time, and it was entertaining, but was it enriching? There's a difference between recreation and pleasant activities. Recreation is, getting outside, taking a walk, doing things you love to do, going to play pickleball, a lot of people are into pickleball these days. It ends up being a waste of time. But in quadrant 2, when you spend the time there and you invest $10 in quadrant 2, this is leverage, okay? What do you think you're going to get back? Who wants to guess that was not on the call yesterday? Okay. Throw out a number. You get more than 10 back, I'll tell you that. You can write it in the chat. You can unmute your line. Let's get a few guesses here. Put it in the chat.
We get 20 back.
20 back. Great. What else? Let's get a
Limitless. It's limitless.
huh?
Limited.
Limitless.
Unlimited. Yeah. And Juanita said 10 times. Actually, this is the quadrant of leverage. If you want to get more done in less time, if you want to have more quality time in your life to do what's important, putting time into quadrant 2, you actually get 100-fold back. 100-fold. You get $1,000. This is called high leverage. And the more time you spend in quadrant 2, like I said earlier, the less urgency you're going to have in your life. So that's kind of a quick overview of the habit of personal management. And it's, it's a muscle. Planning is not my second nature. It's Gregory's. Thank goodness I have a planner in the family here. I can do it, and I have done it, and I actually do it. My daughter-in-law said, how can you enjoy Thanksgiving so much and be so relaxed? I do a lot of planning. I know how to do that, I know how to do it. Do I always do it? No, but I'm going to do it more. And that's part of what I'm working on in my creating my identity with James Clear. So any other, because we've got some leaders that are going to come on and share, any other final comments or questions for me before we bring on a few of our leaders to share their insights of the personal time management habit of habit 3, first things first. Anyone? You can unmute, you can raise your hand. I don't see any hands up. Okay, well, we're going to jump right into, so who's going?
Debbie's got her.
Who does?
Muted Debbie Harbell.
Oh, hi, Debbie. What would you like to share?
Oh, she was just unmuted.
That was
I
the
thought she wanted to
mistake.
share.
Okay. So if we don't have anyone with any comments or questions right now, we're going to move on to our team from yesterday that volunteered to share some of their personal insights. And I don't know who's going first, so I'm going to let you guys take over. Lavelle, Sunshine, Jonathan, who's first?
Yeah, I chose quadrant 1 because that seems to be the quadrant that I'm in a lot of times. So just real quick, I don't want to take too much time because I want the others to have time to speak. But I was thinking about a situation years ago when a bill was due for my, I was taking care of my family. A bill was due, and I was fairly new to it, paying these bills like for a family, and fear absolutely is the worst thing that you can allow to control your mind. Fear took over, and I literally almost had a panic attack because I wasn't able to take care of that bill. So I called the company, and they let me know. We talked for a little bit, and they let me know, Mr. Beal, it's okay. You can pay the bill late. And I'm like, what? I can pay the bill late? But see, when you're in that urgent area, things control your mind that cause more problems than what you already have. So
Oh, that's so true,
there's
Jonathan.
Yes, so that's why we're looking at quadrant 2. And I just have to say this is amazing. I need this probably more than anyone else on here. Planning and prevention is very important, that will help you get out of the urgent, unless it is like, an accident with your child or something like that. That's something different. But a lot of times it's nothing like that. It's other urgent things that we have to deal with. And that's all. Thank you so much.
Well, that was fabulous. And you are so right on. And when you think about it, just an example for all of us, we have a convention coming up in October. they will sell out. They will sell out. And we've told people many, many, many times, how many people have not bought their tickets yet? I don't know, but I know a lot of people wait till the last minute. And guess what? It will become urgent and it will distract. Just like you said, Jonathan, that was great. So a few quick comments and then we'll get on to Sunshower and Lavelle. Camille and Ravel, you want to share something briefly?
Yes, I heard something on Caleb this morning about how worry and anxiety affect us, that the average person worries 13 hours a week. And when we go to sleep worried or anxious, like Jonathan said, our brains are like inflamed. They just keep working and we don't get rest. And of course, our patches help that. The Eon helps that. But I never thought about the fact that worrying and being anxious really affected our brains that much.
Oh boy. That
Yeah.
is so powerful. Because and on the opposite of that, when we take the time, and thank you, Stacy, planning and prevention brings me calm and peace. It's like, oh, getting ready for at the last minute to go somewhere and you hadn't taken the time to put all the blah, 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 then you get crazy and then you forget stuff and then it just multiplies. So thank you for that. And
I
Ravel,
also-
and then we'll go to Lavelle or Sunshower, and then we'll come back to the rest of you, to Michelle and anyone else that has questions, okay? Go ahead, Ravel. You're on, Ravel.
Ravel, not Lavelle. Okay.
So we got Ravel, we have Ravel, Lavelle, and Adele.
Okay.
And Michelle.
And Michelle. Oh my gosh. All right, there you
The L's. The L's.
Robin, I love what you shared about the more time you spend in quadrant 2, the less time you're going to find yourself in quadrant 1. And this morning I got the really strong feeling to be out on to ground, to put my feet on the ground, even though it's winter, because it's a nice day out here, and went for a walk. And that kind of thing, I'm constantly looking at ways to do something proactive and healthy for my body during the day. And, like, for example, I was thinking, well, I hope skiing isn't, a distraction. I hope it's recreation in quadrant 2. But in terms of priority and in terms of this business, I'm going to ensure that if I do go skiing today, that I'm going to talk to 3 people first. And with this promotion that's going on, the product introduction bonus this week, I'm so happy that I have been engaging in Gregory's daily method of operation, because I'm less scrambling. There's a lot of people to call because I'm doing those 3 contacts every day. So thanks for this reminder, Robin. It's so essential.
Beautiful. Oh, that is so you're such a wise one, my dear. And you're such an amazing student. Oh my gosh. But notice what she said. She made sure that she gets those calls in, and those are quadrant 2, and takes the time to take care of her body. Quadrant 2 again. Absolutely. Okay, Lavelle, you're next. And then we'll have some more.
The one actually is Majay. Majay's not on camera, but anyway, Majay wants to share.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi, sweetheart.
Thank you for allowing me to be here, Robin. I'm so, gosh, this is a great, great eye-awakening, to see yourself in such a way that we don't normally see ourselves. I relate my story to me taking my real estate exam. Before I got married, I had to take it several times. I was determined to do it, but I wasn't focused. I had outside distractions tearing me apart. And when it came to the exam, I thought I could wing it. Not. And until I got married and my husband gave me faith, I was afraid of math. And there was a lot of math questions. And my takeaway was I went to a hotel, and a nice hotel, and I spent 3 days there, just me and the books. And I studied and I studied and I focused and I planned. Every day, every hour was planned. And that gave me my success, and I passed. So thank you for sharing. I find myself in quadrant 2.
Oh, thank you for that. How many of us used to cram in school? You know, it became quadrant 1, didn't it? Because we didn't
Yes.
throughout the semester take the time and keep up with the work. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Sunshower, you want to go next? And then we'll get to Michelle and Kamei.
We're not hearing you, Sunshower.
Sunshower, are you here?
She's here, but their voice is not.
We don't hear you, my dear. You're
Yeah.
off mute.
Yeah.
Why don't you do what you typically do? Come back in.
Good.
Okay, and so we'll go to Michelle.
Good morning. Good morning. Hi, Robin and everybody.
Hi,
Thank
sweetheart.
you so much. Oh my gosh. I'm not a great planner either, Robin. You and I have a lot in common, my dear.
Yes, we do.
We are a lot alike. When Kamei was sharing about how worry and anxiety affect us, I would just have a short share. I heard a long time ago, I think it might have been from a chiropractor I was working with, and I was just like, I was kind of like putting out fires, not literally, not really big crises, but you know, I was dealing with a lot of stress. And he pointed out to me, many of us have an addiction to cortisol. We get addicted to those hormones running through our body of I gotta da, 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 ah. And so we learn, and I have learned over the years through meditation and prayer and yoga and earthing, and I am so much better about that. I would say my addiction is, you know, almost non-existent now. But I just wanted to point that out to people that, you know, own that. If that is something, just be honest with yourself and say, oh my gosh, I'm addicted to these stress hormones because they make me feel alive or like I'm doing something. And if we just, you know, take a step back, take a breath and realize that is not helping us. In fact, it's very, very harmful. So,
well, I want to thank you, thank you, thank you, because the first step to making a change is awareness. And until we're aware, we can't change. It's like, oh, so watching yourself and your relationship. Gregory wants to share something.
Yeah, I wanted to share, Michelle, that brings up, you know, a family story. My dad was a brilliant entrepreneur. He knew how to work and he knew how to play. The problem was he got him out of perspective, and he would play so much, he'd wait till there was a crisis, and then he'd come back, and he was the best problem solver I've ever saw. But we could have planned and not had those problems that he was really good at solving. So, you know, I kind of learned my lesson at a young age that, okay, maybe I should do a little bit more planning. So I can definitely relate to people being addicted to cortisol.
Yeah. And there are certain people that take professions because they're addicted to cortisol, whether
yes.
they're in the ER, you know, you've seen it in hospitals. Those
race
people
car
thrive.
drivers.
Exactly. You know, we were talking to someone yesterday, you know, being a fighter pilot, you know, it's like, you know, you have to, okay, let's move on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So
Sunshower's back.
Sunshower's back. Let's see if we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you are.
Here you
Yay.
go.
It's the second time. Okay, you're on.
Okay, first I want to congratulate Ravel because she was doing her habit stacking. Thank you, James Clear.
Mm-hmm.
So I chose the third quadrant about distraction. And first I want to read a quote by Stephen Covey. He says, highly effective network marketers begin with the end in mind in everything they do. They know the difference they want to make. They've defined it. They've written it down after due consideration, and they've shared it with their whole team. So distraction, quadrant 3, interruptions, you know, some callers. So I might be working away and I'll get a call. And I see it's from one of my team members who maybe I recently called and was reaching out to. And so they're calling me back. Oh, good. So I pick up the phone and I hear all this stuff. And it's not at all positive. And it's all their woes and the customer service or whatever it is. And you know what? It's very easy to get caught up in that. You can spend a whole hour listening to all that and trying to help them solve their problems when the best thing a leader can do is help empower them, like Robin always does. Well, you can always find that under resources in your back office, and she'll delineate exactly where the person can go to get their answer.
Mhm.
Another thing I just like to say is, you know, us being in network marketing, we're in business for ourselves. And that's probably the best thing for us. And it's the worst thing for us, because if we don't know how to manage our time, then it can all become kind of a whirlwind of just activity that you, at the end of the day, you go, let's see, what was it that I accomplished?
Mhm.
Beautiful. Well, you brought up such an important point, Sunshower, because those just, you know, when the phones are, Gregory used to say, you don't have to answer every call, you know? And so it's in the moment, it's being aware. If you're focused on a quadrant 2 activity and you see a distraction come in, you get to be in charge.
Mhm.
You know, you can always get back to them. And I have a rule with people that if people want to vent negativity, I'm not the place. You know, I put on my list of qualities and characteristics, you know, of people that, you know, are forward focused and positive. If people get into whining or complaining or talking about stuff they have no control of, and they're in their what's called circle of concern, complaining about the weather, complaining about, you know, the hold time, whatever it is, I stop them. And I give each of you permission and saying, you know, help me understand what did you want to accomplish on this call? You know, you don't need to be rude and say that's negative and I don't want to hear it, but just saying, I'm here to support you. Help me understand what you called for. Okay. But it's a muscle we get to develop of if someone's wasting your time, you're in control and you can stop it. Thank you. And Gregory wants to say
Yeah,
something, and
let's
then
give,
Pam.
many of you heard me say this, and I'll analogize time and money, okay? And how many of us give anybody full access to your checking account?
Oh,
None of us, right?
We have someone. We have one person, our
Our
bookkeeper.
bookkeeper, right? Okay. But, you know, but on the other hand, and I believe time is more valuable than money, because you can get more money, but when time's gone, it's gone, right? So, and the key to success is, Robin is saying, the most successful people in the world are those that have learned to leverage and properly use their time. And properly using your time is not allowing just anybody access to it. And that's why, you know, I've said to Robin, you know, that's what voicemail is for. That's what you can call them back. And many times, you know, if I'm in the middle of something and I see a call come in, you know, I'll say I can't talk right now, or I'm on another call. And when I get back to call and he says, hey, no problem, I figured it out. Many times time will just figure things out. But you need to cherish the time you have, and carefully share it. Don't openly share it with just anybody.
Yeah, it's precious. Are we recording?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
All right, Kim A, thank you so much. This is all so valuable, your shares, you guys. It's very real, isn't it?
Yes. I was listening to, we've been doing 10X is easier than 2X
Mhm.
by Dan Sullivan. And I was listening to chapter 5 yesterday, and it's all about time and planning. And he suggests that you plan your week, don't plan your day, because I'm a list maker. You know, I make a list and I say all these things that I need to do. And he said, plan your week and work your week and focus on that. And he also stresses the fact that we need time to recover. I'm a workaholic. I tend to just work, and not take care of myself. And so we need that time. Our bodies and our minds need that time to do both. And it's a really, really good chapter if you guys read it. He also has a book called Who Not How, and your bookkeeper is a who that helps you with your time, that you don't need to spend that time doing that chore. So just those little tips.
Well, you just affirmed Stephen Covey too, Kim A, because Stephen says, Plan weekly, implement daily. If all you do is create to-do lists, you are living in quadrant 1.
Yep.
That's the way you want to stay in quadrant 1, just create your to-do list but taking the time once a week, Sunday's a great day to plan out the week. Look at what you want to accomplish in the week. And he has a very beautiful system where you define the different roles you have. We're not going to get into that today, but the book does a great job in that. You have your role as a family member, maybe a spouse, a sister, a sibling, whatever. You also have your business, might be outside of Lifeway. If you have your Lifeway business, you have community service. What do you want to do that's going to support each one of those roles every week, that supports a goal you have for those, and you break it down on a weekly basis and you put it in your calendar. You always put it in pencil, but you plan weekly and implement daily, and things change. Yeah.
And again, personal life confession, at one of my high water marks of success, I was making more money a month than I ever made a year in my 4th year in network marketing. And the business was exploding and I was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. I had become what's called a one-spoked wheel. It was all about business. I had neglected my family, my spirituality, my health, and everything else. And the second or third time somebody says you should read 7 Habits, this was back in the 80s, right? I finally picked up and read it, and I was so moved by it. I went to a weekend seminar, and I learned a concept that Robin was talking about of roles and goals, and setting goals in each of my life roles, and acknowledging I am a family member, I'm a parent, I'm a brother, I'm a son. I'm a spiritual person, and I want to serve my community. I got balance in my life. I could breathe easier and life was just better. So thank you for that.
Yeah, yes, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we have taken our time for this session here. I leave you with an invitation, is to observe yourself.
Mhm.
Really watch what your relationship to time is, and which quadrant are you spending time in that maybe you can make a tweak on. If you've got, it's easier to, the more time in quadrant 2, the less we have in 1, but getting rid of 3 and 4 is a muscle, and work on it. Yes, honey.
So here's a loaded question. And how does this zero in to focus on your business? Excuse me. Let me ask you, what quadrant do you think our daily method of operation falls into? Yeah, of course, it's a quadrant 2. That's, not urgent, but it's certainly very important. If you're not doing the daily method of operation, if you're not reaching out and connecting with people and piquing their interest and sharing the news, the story, the videos, and the follow-up, you're not going to get any enrollments, and your business is going to grow a lot slower, if at all.
So thank you everyone for your contributions. So Lavelle, you want to share something?
Yes,
Lavelle.
yes. Yeah. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Well, in quadrant 4, I just want to talk about time wasters. Time wasters from Jim Rohn. He talks about the law of sowing and reaping. When Jim Rohn says the birds are going to get some of the seed. When we try to invite people to a Zoom, or we invite them to a meeting and they don't show up, and we try to call them and say, why aren't you coming to the meetings? What happened? What happened? And we ask these questions. And Jim Rohn says, when they don't show up, he said there's 2 options. One is you can chase them, which will distract from your business, or you can just keep on sowing. He always talks about the key to our success is what? They keep on sowing. And if you keep on sowing, your story will fall on good people. But if you just keep chasing birds, as he says, stop chasing birds. You just got to say, when somebody doesn't show up, you just got to say, isn't that interesting? Talks about, you don't take that class. You put too much time in that, trying to figure out, why didn't they show up? He said, the key to our success is just to keep on sowing. And I think we all get stuck on trying to go after that one person. And we're just wasting time when there's a 7 or 8 billion people on the planet. And I like to say, make a friend, make a deal. Make a friend. You got to make new friends. That's what it's all about. Just create new relationships. And he also talks about, hey guys, we got to discipline our disappointments. You just figure this guy's going to show up and kill the game, or this girl or this woman is going to kill the game. But we just got to decide, hey, you know what? I'm just going to go on and just keep on sowing that seed. And if we keep on sowing, guess what? It will fall on good people. So
Beautiful.
let's
You know,
not waste
well,
time.
Thank you.
That brings to mind, the law of the farm. You reap what you sow. And those of us that have planted gardens, when you dig a hole, do you put one seed in, or do you put 3 or 4 in and thin them out later? Because not every seed sprouts. Okay. And that's just the way it is. But the ones that do, you got to water them, you got to nurture them. And when you water and nurture and do the follow-up, do establishing those connections. This is relationship marketing. Our goal is long-term, mutually rewarding relationships. It means it's going to be good for them, good for you. Chasing birds might be fun, it's good exercise, but I don't know. They're really hard to catch. Okay. But thanks
Yeah.
for bringing that. The law of the farm.
And
Yeah.
sowing. And before we get to that place, we have to prepare the soil.
Yes.
Anyone who's a farmer or a gardener knows that the soil is the most important part. You've got to create the environment that is going to support and nurture the seed that you're going to plant. And then you have to follow up and water it. So thank you, everyone. This is very, very rich, and so appreciate all of your contributions. And thanks, you leaders, Jonathan, Lavelle, Mijet, Sunshower, for sharing your insights. And so what we want to do now is we're going to stop the share,
Yeah.
the screen share, and we're going to open things up for the next section of our time together. For those of you that want to stick around, we're here to answer and talk about any kind of business questions of any sort. It doesn't matter what the topic,
Mm-hmm.
you can bring it up. And before, I was just looking and I saw Ann Sam's name. Ann Sam wrote a story in Vibrant Living, and we have a spin every Monday night. And we're giving away a sleeve of either of one of our patches. And Ann won it. And so I just invite all of you to share your stories. That's a quadrant 2 activity, by the way, because it builds business. Okay, so who you can raise your hand or open your mic if you've got a question about anything or
And it could
comment.
be related to our discussion here today,
could
or
be,
it could
but it
be
doesn't
anything
have to
else,
be.
but it's open-ended.
Open-ended Q&A for about, where do I find this? What's going to happen? Someone said, where am I going to find this recording? Well, every time, I don't see that we're on Facebook Live. Oh, there I do.
Yeah.
So we typically have all these programs on Facebook Live, so you can see it right away
Mhm.
at your convenience on Live Younger Facebook. And then it goes, and God bless Liz, because she takes all of these and puts them in our YouTube channel under the playlist for Thursday morning. So that'll answer one of the questions. Who else has a comment, question about the business of any sort?
So if you're on your computer, down at the bottom, there's a raise hand icon. I noticed that, when you're on your phone, it's a lot harder to find the raise hand, and you could just physically raise your hand and we'll look at you. But go ahead, Terry McBride. Good morning.
Want to unmute your line, Terry? Great. Oh, not yet.
Yeah.
Click unmute.
Yeah. On the phone, it's hard to find unmute too.
Thank you for sending that. My question is, and good morning, great information. Do we know when we'll be getting more brochures from LifeWave? Thankfully, I had ordered a ton of them, but I do holistic health shows, and those are fabulous for me. I, put information and some patches in there, and I have a lovely little packet I hand out like that, but I'm almost out. So I'm
Okay.
wondering, do we know anything? Thank you.
Well, thank you for asking, Terry. We are waiting. The company is going through a whole transformation here with, you know, with the new branding. And we keep asking, we know that they're making great progress and you can see it on the website. We don't have a date yet, but coming soon. And I'm sorry, I don't have a date for you, my dear, but, sorry. Yeah, it'll come, but use what we got. We got a lot of great things. Okay.
There are some materials at liveyoungertools.com, Terry.
That's true.
They're not made by the company. And as the company's evolving their branding and compliance terms, some of those tools, you know, may become obsolete. So I wouldn't overstock, but, you know, and, you know, that is a source where you can, a third-party source for LifeWave, related materials.
I did.
Live
I got some of those brochures for the
Okay.
meantime. So thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Okay, Kate.
What about Christine was had her hand?
Oh.
Oh, Kate's got unmuted, so go ahead, Kate.
Okay,
Then we'll come back to Christine.
Christina.
Mine is just a real quick announcement. I went on my app this early morning hours today, and it is completely updated. The
Oh,
In
that's
Touch app.
right. I wrote that in the Facebook page and we sent it out to everyone. So everybody, we invite you to go there. There's new things there. There's all the ones that aren't available are gone. So thank you for letting everybody know. So please, everyone go check out the app. This is a quadrant 2 activity. See what's there so you know what to use. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Christina. It's Christine. Sorry.
Okay.
There you
So my question was this. So the recordings are at the liveyoungeryoutube.com, but then when you were talking and explaining something, I guess my Wi-Fi isn't that strong this morning, and so I didn't hear the rest of the information.
Okay. Gregory does a really good job of putting these on our Facebook group and Facebook Live. So you can actually go back to Live Younger Facebook and watch it at your convenience immediately.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
And then usually within 24 hours, we get them posted into the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Oh,
Great.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Kamei.
For those people who heard that we might change venues for the convention, just to let them know that we're staying.
Actually, let me jump in, Kemi. You might have missed this, but the decision is made. We are not changing venues.
Right. That's what I was going to say.
They were, oh, you were going to say that?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. I just wanted to let everybody know we're still going to be at the Anatole. So, and the second thing I want to say is I was so pleased. I won the Cancun trip. And last year when we went to Aruba, it took forever to get the agenda and registration and everything. I got all of that yesterday. So kudos to events.
I think it's wonderful to look at what's working and what's getting better. So I'm a very forward focused person and it's so easy for me to find those things that I'd like to be better. So yay. Thank you. And, is it Rema? And anyone that's got some noise, please mute. Okay. Rema, is that how I want to say your name right?
Rehma. Hi, good day. It's
Hello.
Rehma.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I am a Pakistani national residing in the Philippines. It's incredible to join your meeting. I've joined a few before and I'm really impressed. So I have a business related question. Because in today's generation, what I've seen is that usually people are promoting the products, like for example, LifeWave products. They're already promoting a build-up product. So what do you, the question which I have is like, how could you make your own perception or your own business when you promote other products? Like how can you convert to your own business promoting other products?
You understand that? So I'm not totally clear on the question. You have other products you want to promote in addition to LifeWave? Is that what you're saying?
Not really. I mean, it's a general question, as in, for example, any company, like, for example, if I am into fitness, for example, and I am trying to promote products of any other fitness brand, but then I'm willing to make my own business. So how can I, like, what mindset should I have to convert or be independent enough that I already know that I am capable of doing it myself?
Yeah, let me address that with you, Rima. And you know, like many health practitioners that utilize our products, it's not the only product they use in their practice, you know, and the goal is to serve the person well. Now, one of the things we never do is promote other products within our LifeWave community, but you know, we have many health, like I say, doctors, healthcare practitioners that might carry standard process and this product, and they add the patches to their practice, and that's totally good. And we have some healthcare practitioners that their LifeWave business became so exciting, like Dr. Nicholas, our sponsor, that they pretty much just about got out of chiropractic, and he's a full-time senior presidential director with LifeWave. It happens organically. It happens naturally. I think when you have the interest of your customer, prospect, client in mind as the primary objective, I think it naturally happens. You know, we just caution people from mixing business opportunities or promoting other products cross line to other LifeWave distributors. We kind of don't do that, you know. But you know, I think if you're a health coach, if you're a fitness instructor, you may promote a protein supplement that we don't have, in addition to the patches that we do have. So, is that helpful? Did I address your question, Rima?
Oh, yes, you did. Thank you so much. I do understand the perception now, how it works, and it's incredible. Thank you for addressing that out.
And thanks for reaching out from the Philippines and being with us.
Wonderful.
Well,
We're
thank
all
you.
over the world.
I really appreciate your work. It's incredible. And it's really overwhelming that I am trying to learn from a range of such people, an incredible experience. So I'm really thankful for that. Thank you.
Beautiful.
You're
We're
so
so
welcome.
glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank
Eva
you.
Rose. And Eva Rose is one of our Cancun winners. She won 2 tickets.
Woohoo!
She had 90 points.
Oh my gosh.
Celebrate this wonderful woman. So you got your hand up, my dear.
Good morning. And thank you, Robin. I just received my X39 from the share story that you sent out. Thank you.
Thank you for
Um,
sharing.
Yeah, I've loved so much to share. It's just finding the time to put it in. And that's part of something what I want to ask your guys' insight. So I never have a problem growing. Like I'm a relationship person and it's just so easy for me. And I'm at a point right now where I'm overwhelmed because I have so many people, but I'm so full that I don't know how to get to the next. I don't know what to prioritize now. I don't know, like I'm just bringing people in, but now I don't know how to get. Full. I don't know. I'm overwhelmed. So
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. It's a really good problem to have, first of all. And one of the things that, I think many of you know, many, many years ago when I was new in this profession, someone said, find a mentor. And then 4 years later, I married him. And so it's really understanding, and taking the time in the beginning to find out what people are wanting to accomplish. Some people just want to use the patches. Some people want to get their product paid for. Some people are looking for, a serious income. Some people are looking for a lifestyle income. So this is straight from this guy, it's like, who do you spend your time with and how much time do you spend with them? Because something Gregor used to coach me on regularly is you're staying on the phone too long. You're spending too much time with that person. I just love everybody and want to spend time with them, And so it's really looking again at where is how do you spend your time? and with who you spend your time. Because if someone is a customer and they're using the product, we definitely want to support them, but we don't need to spend a lot of time with them. I'd like you to comment.
Yeah,
on
I'll
this.
use the sports analysis. You got to determine who's first string and who's on the bench, and you're going to have people rising up out of the bench. They're going to get called into the field of play and they'll become superstars. But there's only so many people that you can deal with. In the military, they say it's 7, okay? Working with 7 people at a time. So you need to have your A list, your B list, and your C list. And C list are people who call you for questions. You'll spend a little time. You'll be professional. You'll be respectful. But the A list, you're on the phone with them 2 or 3 times a day, maybe. The people that are running up the hill with you are the people you want to run with. The people that want you to drag them up the hill, those are the people you just maybe leave. Maybe they're going to stop somewhere along the way. So it is a challenge because it sounds like you're a lot like Robin. You like working with everybody.
Yes.
And until she learned to focus, when she learned to focus, and she knows the game now, she knows who to work with. And, she's sometimes working with people who are 2, 3, 4, 5 levels below us
Or more.
or more, but they're key leaders. And then there's other people that are 5 levels below us, and she refers them to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th person in between.
Yeah. And this is a question for everyone, Eva. I'm so glad you brought it up because it really, really relates to how do we spend our time. And in the beginning of taking the time to ask someone what their goals and aspirations are with LifeWave and find that out. Now, remember, that can change. I had no interest in a business, was a customer. But things changed over time. So it's really paying attention and staying connected and watching people's activity. What people say is not necessarily what you need to pay attention to. Watch what they do and spend your time wisely with those that deserve your time. Is that helpful, Eva?
Yeah.
And I'm happy to visit with you about that too. Okay. But I think you got it down. I think you got it.
So we're almost at the top of the hour, maybe 1 or 2 more questions and we'll call it a wrap.
We don't see
Okay, at the
any.
wrap.
Any comments about anything?
Yeah.
What did you glean from this session today?
Let me jump in if I could. And thank you, Cam, for bringing up the change of venue. I thought I thought you knew, but then I thought you didn't. Now I know you do. They were looking for a larger venue, just so everyone knows. They were looking for a venue that would hold 10,000 people, and they couldn't find one. So we are totally locked in the current venue, the original venue, which holds 6,000 people, and 5,000 seats are already sold. Now, typically, a company like LifeWave, they'll sell 60% of the attendance in the last 90 days, and we're already 80% sold or whatever percentage that is. So that's Robin. This is quadrant 2. If you know people that want to be there, get them to buy their ticket now. The tickets are non-refundable, but they are transferable. And when they're sold out, they're sold out. So
great, thank you. I wanted to answer a question in the chat. Is the BP annual fee coming? Thanks. Right now, we pay $25 to become a member of LifeWave, and it has been a one-time fee. There is conversation about the possibility of it maybe changing. Nothing has happened. Most companies do that, and the main purpose they do it is to clean up the database and to find out who's active and who's not. And so it's not a big deal. So we don't know the answer to that. It's in
probably is coming, but
it's in conversation right now. But if it does happen, we'll let you know. But it would be on the annual renewal date of when you started, not on a yearly basis, my understanding. But we don't know yet. But it's a good thing if it is. And we'd love it to happen, actually. Yeah. All right. I'm looking to see if there's any more questions. So thank you everyone for being with us on this Thursday morning for our business chat. We're so grateful for this beautiful, loving, caring, amazing community. I've been in a lot of companies. Nothing holds a candle to you guys, nothing. And we keep learning and growing together, and I'm so grateful. Keme, you want to say a final word and then we'll be done?
I do. I just changed my daily inspiration, and this is something we could use in our business. It says, life is not merely to be alive, but to be well.
Beautiful. What a great ending. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Robin.
And you,
Robin
Ethan,
and Gregory.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks,
This was
everybody.
a great
Awesome.
call.
Thank you.
Thank
Great
you.
call.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Calls.
you.
Thank you so much.
Bye
Hi,
bye.
Thank
Debbie.
you so
Thank
much.
you.
Amazing.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Phenomenal.